Hello, welcome everyone. Let's start. Today's topic is Shraddha. Shraddha is very different from the word Shraddha in Sanskrit. Shraddha is a word with a deeper meaning, and without understanding what it is, it just remains as a word in your vocabulary. It is the fifth word in Shat Sampatti, sixfold Vivekam, sixfold goodness, that is Vivekam, Vairagyam, Shat Sampatti. Out of that Shat Sampatti is Sama, Dhamma, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha and Samadhana. So I'm going to show you a small slide quickly so that we can go from there. And if you can see the slide, Shraddha is often misunderstood for Shraddha. This is Shraddha. We are now today talking about Shraddha, not Shraddha. Shraddha, according to dictionary.com, one of the several funeral rites performed at intervals. This is Collins Dictionary, one of the several funeral rites. These two are not correct. Shraddha is different from Shraddha. This is one of the Shat Sampatti, Samadhi Shat Sampatti, Samadhamma, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. These are the pre-qualifications for Vedantic studies. In Tattva Bodha, Shraddha, what is Shraddha? Guru Vedanta Vakyesu Vishwas is Shraddha. Faith in the words of Guru and the scriptures. Now, Aparoksha Vibhuti verse 8 says the Guru is teaching the supreme knowledge to the student and the student should have the absolute trust. That is Shraddha. Vivekachudamani verse 25, acceptance by firm judgment as true of what the scriptures and the Guru instruct. That is what Shraddha is. Bhagavad Gita 4.39, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Those whose faith is deep attain divine knowledge. So Shraddha is a word that we have seen. It is different. It is not faith. Faith is a belief or the confidence that one has on another person or a thing. Faith could be a belief in God, also a doctrine of any particular religion. My allegiance to my job, my relationship, or my nation, that is all faith and loyalty. But Shraddha is beyond all this. Shraddha means Sat, that which exists, that alone is. That is to hold on to that Sat. Da is to hold on, to nourish, to deviate your mind towards that one supreme reality. Shraddha has a sense of reverence attached to it, a feeling of deep respect, admiration, adoration, devotion, veneration, predominantly to the higher divine. I don't have reverence to my job. Say I order in Amazon, online order. I have the trust, I have the faith that they will deliver on time. Faith is honoring the words, agreements. But Shraddha is all this together plus reverence. So that is the basic, we need to understand the difference between Shraddha and Shraddha. So Guru Vedanta Vakyeshu Shraddha. Trust in Guru and Vedanta scriptural statements. The doubts may arise that scriptures are fine, but is the Guru teaching it or explaining it clearly? Or the Guru is a great teacher, but is he using the right scripture? One should have trust in both the Guru and scriptures. Who is a Guru is also explained in scriptures. Now, how long should I trust? How long should I drag? Now, for example, I show you a pen or this one, this object, and tell you, you trust me, this is a pen. Now you are going to say, no, I don't need to trust you. I know it is a pen. So once you gain the knowledge, there is no need for Shraddha. Shraddha is a trust, or trust is one step behind the knowledge. It precedes the knowledge. Once the knowledge is gained, that Shraddha has transformed into knowledge. Shraddha has given, the trust has given its benefit. For example, I go to a new city, or I come to your city, and I ask you, how do I get to your place, destination? And you give me a direction. Take the bus, get off here at this stop, make a right turn, make second left, or see a pink building opposite to that, or whatever direction you give me. When you give me the direction, it is an information for me. Only when I trust your information, then I follow the direction. I follow the direction, reach there, and once I reach there, it becomes my knowledge. Giving the status of knowledge to that information, even before it is a knowledge, is Shraddha. That is, whenever we have a particular knowledge, and how effectively and how with firm determination we act on it, in the same exact way, we need to act on this information that we received with the same conviction. Implementing it without any doubt is Shraddha. This happens to all of us. We ask for time, direction, path, plane, departure time. Shraddha is the first one to knowledge. Only when we have the Shraddha, we can gain the knowledge. In Vedantic scriptures, Gita and Sri Krishna is our Guru. We are the seekers. When we listen to him, he is guiding the entire humanity with Arjuna as the representative and leads us to the path of liberation. He speaks about righteousness that gives invisible benefit, invisible in the sense adrishta, purifies our mind, enables single-pointed focus. Gita is both an instruction manual. Gita is an instruction manual providing us both karma yoga and jnana yoga. Provides absolute knowledge. That is why it is called Gita Upanishad. It is the gist of Upanishad. When one listens to his teachings with Shraddha, with complete trust, then with sadhanas and yogas, that transforms into knowledge. Once it is knowledge, at that point, we go through the experiences of life and we compare what the scriptures say and what our experiences are. Oftentimes they match. Krishna emphasizes that service attitude, karma yoga, service attitude is the best to purify our mind. Chapters 1 through 6. Now, to take us in this path, in the path of karma yoga, one needs trust. Many listen to scriptures, talks about it, but to put it into practice, one needs Shraddha. Only then we will put it into practice or implement it or practice it. Sadhana to sadhyam. Once the knowledge is gained and the seeker is enjoying the benefits, there is no need for trust, because that trust has transformed into knowledge and you are convinced. Einstein was once asked, "Do you believe in God?" And his response was, "No, I don't believe in God because I know He is there." As long as we are seekers, before gaining knowledge, trust is required. It's a must. Some have the idea that this trust is due to ignorance, not realizing that this trust in scriptures is not a blind belief, but an enlightened faith based on verification. Often we can hear people say, "This is a dry subject, it will not help for the day-to-day life." But when a scientist, say for example, Newton in 1866, he revealed gravity. It was already there, he just discovered. So when one verifies the scriptural knowledge, if it's not just simple to communicate that knowledge to another person to transform that knowledge. Each seeker needs to put in the same or more effort than the original for verification, and for one's own verification. It is a DIY, do it yourself program. You do all the work and I can get the benefit. It's not how it works. In scientific, yes, Einstein proved it, Newton proved it, and we all follow. We don't even question it. So those who say that and believe that ignorance alone have faith and trust do not step into spirituality. When Krishna says Shraddhavan labhate jnanam, which is in chapter 4, verse 39, Shraddha, trust, is the cause, knowledge is the effect. Only when we trust, we will take the desired path. Say, you have to trust. Say, if you are booking an airline ticket from point A to point B, unless you trust the airliner's staff's words that this plane will take you to Amsterdam or New York or London, you won't even buy the ticket. You will buy the ticket. When you buy the ticket and you reach there, then now it has become the knowledge. So trust in scriptures and Guru is essential for knowledge. Understanding this is very vague, ambiguous. Sometimes we study scriptures, we listen to teachers, and it is very vague. You are not able to grasp it. That means more trust is necessary. Extra effort is necessary. Why? Because Upanishadic statements, they all say, "I am bliss, and I have no birth, no death, nothing in between." Whereas on the contrary, I am born, I'm going through all life sufferings and struggles and sorrows, and I will die one day because I see that I am limited. So trust, Shraddha, first is listening with an open mind, then reading. Having exposed to scriptures, not from authentic guru or authentic textbooks, scriptures. People have many preconceived notions, and the questions that they often pose are more often to get confirmation for their stand. This is due to strong attachment to their own viewpoint, judgment, decision. That's why it's very difficult to have that open mind. Listen attentively, then inquire, analyze, and compare with the experiences of your own. It takes efforts to unlearn, to relearn. It's easier to, like children with as wet clay. So are the seekers who are not exposed to scriptures at all, would grasp it faster. That's why those days in India we used to have Gurukula, and the teacher is supposed to be a particular type, which is Sotranyan Brahmanishtan. There should be a parampara teacher who have been a student for 3 generations. That's one of the requirements for being teacher. Not anybody can be a teacher. Who is your guru? Who is your guru's guru? Because every Sanskrit word has got several meanings and need appropriate meaning depending on the context. Brahma means Nirguna Brahman. Brahma also refers to Veda. Brahma also refers to orderliness, dharma. The intended meaning needs to be heard, or else it could lead to misunderstanding, misinterpretation, and eventually mistrust, which is itself is an obstacle for self-realization. Humans have several blocks in their mind. It is vital to pause, observe one's thought. That is what chapter 6, Upasana, Upasana, Dhyana Yoga in Gita. Only any effort towards the desired outcome, one must have the Shraddha. Without Shraddha, nothing can be done, will be done, or achieved. That's why we often say, I don't have time, because we don't have Shraddha. That is not our priority. We don't have Shraddha in doing a particular thing. Everyone has only 24 hours. Shraddha only will lead to action. Why don't we trust? Why don't we have that Shraddha? Krishna says, Shraddha is required for ignorance to dissolve, eradicated, for any knowledge to come. When we don't have Shraddha, where Shraddha is required because of impurity in the mind is not matured enough to trust the right path, and in itself it's an obstacle. Our mind and intellect play the vital role in trust. Maybe we were deceived once, we were cheated once or twice, and the intellect had made a decision not to trust anyone. Based on one behavior or one experience, one incident, we cannot generalize. Once the trust is lost, it is very difficult to bring it back. On the contrary, our mind should say, I place my trust in the wrong person or wrong situation. Pure mind helps us to place the trust in the right place, resulting in gaining the right knowledge. I will not trust anyone is not a solution. When trust is placed in the right place, it is referred as Shraddha, firm determination. When the same trust is not placed in the right place, it is referred as Ashraddha, that is placed in the wrong place. A blind belief is when one says, I will trust whatever he or she says, or I will not trust anything that she says or he says. That is referred as Kushraddha. Upanishad says, you are complete, you are Purnam, but my experience says I am limited. Neither I should ignore the words of Upanishads, nor should I ignore the words of my experiences, but analyze them both. Then we will recognize that I am claiming this body to be I. Yes, based on that notion, I am this body, I am limited, I am subject to destruction. But from the absolute point of view, standpoint, I does not direct to this body, but to the Atma that is the witness of this body, which is because of which this body is active. My misunderstanding of who I am, that is the cause of all sufferings. Only the Shraddha can lead to this knowledge. Only Shraddha can lead me to analyze, inquire, and reach the absolute. Shraddha is not a reflection of a blind belief, but the mental maturity to question, to compare, to analyze, to inquire. Shraddha is the expression of mental maturity and knowledge. When Shraddha leads to knowledge, it gives mental strength. They call it Atma Balam, Buddhi Balam. We all know theory is different from practice. We can learn all about biking or swimming. But when you practice it, you need more power, more strength to continue till the end. For example, I go for a stroll. Stroll is easier than a fast walk. But once I realize that someone is stalking me or a dog is chasing me, then I tend to speed up. There is a fear, which is an extra protective power to be cautious, which increases the power. Similarly, as we trust, this Shraddha heightens, escalates our inner power. How can I boost my trust? Shraddha and Bhakti in Guru Vedanta, both are same. Sages realized once like Shankara, Ramana Maharshi, Vivekananda, and many others who are not here with us today physically, but their books are there. Reading them gives us a trust. With this, we develop trust and eventually strength. Shraddha, which is trust and reverence, gives individuals humility. That is another important aspect of human being. At that point, you learn, you realize that I didn't know all this. I wish I knew it earlier. I wish I knew it 20 years ago. Gita chapter 4, verse 34, Krishna says, approach your guru with humility and reverence. Only when we have that Shraddha, one is humble enough to listen to the scriptures presented by the guru. At that point, the seeker gets totally disqualified, meaning all my accomplishments, all my glories, all my accolades, power, position, everything completely becomes zero. At that point, the seeker is in awe, how much I don't know, and wonder, what did I do all these years? The more you listen, the more you realize how little we know. Mahatma Gandhi once stood in the beach, Marina Beach in Madras, Tamil Nadu, and he took 2 hands full of sand, and he said, this is what I know, and what I don't know is under my feet. Only at that point, the intended knowledge gets transformed from the guru to the seeker. That guru is Stotranyan Brahmanishtan. Chapter 4, verse 34 in Gita. A teacher has nothing to gain by teaching. They are not looking for anything from students. On the contrary, the kripa, the teacher's kind, compassionate attitude towards students, initiates, prompts the teacher to lead the seeker. This initiation of kindness and compassion is triggered by the trust of the seeker on the teacher. Guru does not speak. The seeker's trust makes the guru speak. When the seeker has the trust, it becomes the responsibility of the guru to guide the seeker. And the guru is now accountable for seeker's evolution. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. At that point, the guru holds the hand of the student seeker like a toddler and guides that seeker, identifies the level of that student, and provides the path for spiritual evolution. Without Shraddha, teaching is not possible. In a loud classroom, a teacher cannot teach. Only the student's trust, Shraddha, triggers the thought to teach in a teacher, thereby giving strength to the students, giving humility to the seeker, enabling to continue with all necessary efforts, eradicating all negative, inaccurate judgments, changing the mind to purify, that is, molds the individual. Trust alone, Shraddha alone enables the ability to renounce ego towards gaining the knowledge. This Shraddha transforms into knowledge. At that point, the absolute knowledge converts into a sense of gratitude. So Shraddha transforms into knowledge. Shraddha then transforms into gratitude. This Shraddha, trust, is the outcome of the purity of thought, the invisible consequences of our actions. When I say actions, it is thought, word, and deed. Every thought has a consequence. Every word that we utter has a consequence. And every action that we do have a consequence. That is why Krishna in chapter 4, verse 39 says, Shraddhavan labate jnanam, gives the direct correlation between the trust, Shraddha, and knowledge. So Shraddha is first important in anything, and especially in spiritual path. Only then you can move forward. With that, we complete the topic Shraddha today. Let me end it. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.